people were partying in a little supermarket that has been turned into a club. And it was really weird. Weird people, funny people. It was hilarious. When the wall came down, there was like double the size of West Berlin that became a place to explore and to find new places that were abandoned or in a desolate state. And they've been turned into clubs quickly. Every weekend there was a new project somewhere, and people just squatted in different locations and started clubbing, and that was pretty minimalistic but very much fun. And so the whole thing could grow exponentially, and well, that made it possible to make Berlin a place for people from all over the world to party.
Still a strong underground scene. It depends the way you look at it. There is some, obviously techno now these days has went some very mainstream. There's a lot of clubs playing techno that would have never played techno before, but I think if you focus more on the underground, more upcoming artists, things like that, then you will find there's a very strong underground scene still going.
There is an underground sound. The underground sound is that sound which is not mainstream. So it's the sound you will not get rich with when it comes to money or material things. But the riches of the underground lie in a different territory. It's more here, you know?
It was underground at the beginning. I remember my friend circle separated into two groups, people who liked techno and people who didn't. Now it's absolutely mainstream. You know, every song which is produced has a beat from a drum machine.
There's so many people listening to that music because they think it's underground, and the more people listen to music, the more it turns to mainstream. So I think personally that we already have lost the underground.
You had the commercial side of it and you had the underground side of it. And it depends on you where you set the border, you know. You could say, okay, is that really underground? He makes a living out of it for the last 18 or 20 years. Yeah, it is underground because it's not about making a living out of it. It is about selling the shit out of things, you know. And I think, yeah, there still is both.
The biggest change in the techno scene would maybe be the more hard industrial sound and the more deep hypnotic sound seem to have taken a crossroads when it came to the techno scene.
The sound itself got more powerful, the productions got more professional.
It was really much faster in the beginning. Sounds were, yeah, like GABA sounds, and today I think it changed through the drugs that were taken today. There's a lot of ketamine in the business, and that makes it like slow and deep and dark and yeah, and a little spacey as well.
When it comes to techno, there's always that old school techno feeling that people like to always have in there with your 909 drum machines, etc. But also with techno at the moment, there's a lot of real innovation going on at the moment. Some real artists who are doing something really different that's never been heard before. A lot of artists like Ness, who I work with a lot, who's doing some really nice stuff. Also Giorgio Gigli, and people who are, when I listen to their music, I don't feel like they're recycling something old. I feel that they're doing something really fresh.
Every new generation that comes to the clubs thinks it's something really new, but actually it isn't. The same sound that has been 10 years ago haunting the clubs is now coming back.
We have like these 12 half-tone steps on one octave. We have that on several octaves, so what you play inside of the musical scale actually stays inside of the musical scale.
It's always been a really diverse group of people who love techno, especially in the beginning, collected from all over the place and from all different kinds of fields. And I like diversity. I have nothing against it. It's here in Berlin certainly got more and more foreigners, but I like it.
There's a lot of new people coming through, a lot of fresh ideas coming from a lot of different artists. I guess if one scene sticks to one area of people, it can eventually start to get a bit stale after a while. But I think a lot of new people coming through can be a good thing, but also, as you can imagine, everything becomes overcrowded.
The club culture has changed a bit since there are so many tourists coming to Berlin. 20 years ago or 15 years ago, there was more like a family feeling in the clubs. People were meeting each other every weekend, and it was a sort of a community. And today it's just the other way around. There are more tourists in the clubs just coming there for one night or maybe 2 nights.
The later the night goes, the less tourists there are, because they start drinking after dinner and are totally wasted around 12, and the party hasn't even started yet. They're missing a lot.
Investors coming to Berlin, that's a subject with 2 sides. One side is they bring money into the city and also to the clubs and to the scene, and they make it possible to realize some projects here. But on the other side, they require the best places to build new houses, new buildings, new offices.
When all the techno clubs in the 90s were in the center of town, in the main areas, in the Mitte, Prenzlauer Berg, Friedrichshain and Kreuzberg, they're slowly being pushed out of the center of town. And for me it's cool because it's always changing. I wouldn't like to still go to the same Tresor in the same place, or the Auwerx has totally changed since it opened. And now like Bar 25 is gone, and it became Kata, and now it's gone, and now it's moving over back on the other side, become Holzmarkt and Kata Club, and that's great. It's a constant change. I'm not sad about it or something.
First of all, certain areas are promoted as artist areas where cool people live, cool bars, cool clubs. Then people move there, buy real estate there. Then they start complaining, oh, it's too loud at night, our kids cannot sleep, so the clubs have to close. Then they want, looking for a club or bar which is kind of clean so that they can go there, maybe show out their stuff, their clothes. So then other bars come for this, open up for these people, shops open for these people. Of course the rents go higher and the people who used to live there, the artists, the cool people who have usually not so much money, have to go somewhere else, and suddenly it's a boring area.
People were arguing that techno has been dead already for 10, 15 years, and they always said, no, that's just a short-term thing, and it's never gonna survive because it's so boring, always this boom, 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 and but still, techno's still existing and thriving.
There will be certain DJs like who will die, and the music will still be running, and it's just like Bach. He died, but his music didn't, and it'll be the same with techno.
For me, I think techno is a thing that is always going to be ever evolving, ever evolving. Techno today is nothing like techno sounded in the 90s, and I think it will keep evolving. Even though it will always be called techno, there's always going to be new technology, there's going to be new producers, fresh ideas, so techno is always going to be evolving, there's always going to be fresh sounds.
I don't really think techno's gonna die.
The wheel of life keeps on turning.